Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. I am Kamuske Kamara and I'm deciding to making this video because of the current issue happening between Israel and Palestine. And one would be asking why you making the video in the first place, or why you actually concerned, or why should we be talking about issues like this, or why should we even listening to you? Start off in international history at African Leadership Academy, which is like the Cambridge course. It is by no means perfect because it is a story told from another perspective, but then it actually gives us a space for us to think and reflect on what we think about those stories that have been told and shared by other people, and how we can actually relate or reflect on them. And then also, why do I concerns? A couple of days ago, we went to North Carolina for a retreat, and then coming back, we decided to stop by Asheville to get some lunch and return back. So we saw a lot of people protesting for Palestine, and close to me was a white man, and he said the F word to the audience or the congregation that was actually protesting. So this shocked me, like, why do we sometimes want to think other perspectives about people's opinion, and why sometimes we don't believe or want to side with what people believe in. But before we go further, I want you to ask yourself questions. The issue between or the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which side were you on, if you were in any side, and why? Ask yourself, thinking about the issue currently going on between Israel and Palestine, have you tried to ask yourself, who do you support in the first place, or who do you empathize with in the first place? It could be both, which is perfect. It could be one, because you have been raised, or you have had like single story, which is very dangerous on both cases. And so here today, I would like to talk about what is currently happening. So if you are following with the news, you can actually notice that Hamas, which is like a group in Palestine, launched an attack in Israel, and then Israel is currently retaliating by making counter attacks and killing a lot of people. Both sides have actually encountered a lot of fatalities, with the inclusion of like innocent women and children. No violence can actually justify your voice, you understand? But why do people actually tend to speak out their voices? What happened in the first place? So if we take a historical journey back in the past, we can tend to say how all of this happened. I can't tell you who owns Palestine, who owns Israel, but I could tell you everybody has the right, as we all are humans, right? So we have human rights. So you have a human right to a place of birth, to a family, to a place where you can actually peacefully grow, get education, get the proper basic amenities that a human could need, like basic like water, shelter, and clothing. What if you growing up, you deprived from all of this basically because of one political? America is currently supporting Israel, and not even currently. This started like several years ago. From the beginning, the Israelites came to Palestinians, and after the Holocaust that happened in Germany, so a lot of the old world was sympathizing with them, so they actually needed a place to go call their home. But because biblically they have a tie to the land, the Palestinians, the land, so they came there. But all of this started with Britain. Britain had actually promised both sides, you help me in my war, I'll give you land. You help me in my war, I'll give you a land. The Palestinians have been in their country for centuries, centuries upon centuries upon centuries, great grandfather and everything. So bringing you people, let me just stop there and actually ask you a question. When Russia is invading Ukraine and Ukraine is fighting back, you stand with Ukraine, right? The whole world is standing with Ukraine because you believe the land belongs to Ukraine and not Russia. So Russia invading means Ukraine has the right to respond violently, because Russia is also respond violently. But when Palestine is responding violently, they don't have the right to. But have you seen the statistics? Have you seen the land differentiation that the UN tried to do? How they have tried to share the land? How the land being initially owned by Palestine is now owned by Israel? And so sometimes we ask ourselves, Do you really hate oppression, or you just don't like to be oppressed? But if you are the oppressor, you prefer it because you feel like you have opportunities, you have advantages. But when you are being oppressed, that is when you go against it. For decades now, Israel has been actually doing so much harm to Palestinians, killing innocent women, even journalists. But nobody's talking about it because nobody cares. Yeah, Israel is beautiful. Israel has great ties with America. So who else? What else do we care about? But then I'm not supporting the attack by no means. As I said before, there is no violence cannot justify anything. But now, because Palestine has retaliated for decade-long assaults and innocent killing, we have seen where they bombing mosque, throwing tear gas of people praying, destroying innocent lives, killing even journalists, as I said before. And this is concerning and alarming. As a young person like myself going into journalism, I might be in that position, you know. And it's a call of concern and order. Currently, Israel is retaliating. The Americans have sent a lot of troops aiding the Israelites, who are more than the Palestinians, have more sophisticated weapons than the Palestinians. But America is still aiding them as they did back in the days when they had the Yom Kippur War or other wars. And we are now concerned, the whole world is talking about it, that the Hamas is killing innocent lives. But we weren't talking about it when the Israelites were killing innocent Palestinians. The same thing happened when South Africans were fighting for end apartheid. Nobody wanted to see the real side because, Nelson Mandela was even branded as a terrorist, if you don't know. Yes, he was in American wanted list. Yeah, because he was fighting for his people. Just look at how the issue is going today and ask yourself, do you hate oppression, or you just hate being oppressed? Because if you're in the opposite sides, flip the coin. You are in a position where you call the shots, you make the decisions. Would you hate it or would you like it? So think about that and think where Palestinian lies right now. They have cut all the food, electricity, water supply, and over to the Gaza Stripes. So now over 2 million people, I'm not talking about the terrorists, I'm talking about women and children that are in that place, the fathers that are actually doing hard labor to provide for their family, now don't have any access to any of these opportunities. Think about that, and maybe there'll be a part 2. And I know by any a lot of people are gonna throw shot at me and like, what do you even know and everything. First of all, your opinion is your opinion. I'm not making this video to debunk your opinion. I'm making this video to speak about the fact.